Bizarre Brain Comics. Gary here for Bizarre Brain Comics. I've done a few episodes in the past which go through how-to art books, cartooning, and drawing comics and the like. And I wanted to do another one here. I'll just try to keep it a little shorter today. This is How to Become a Comic Book Artist by Rich Buckler, as it says here on the cover, with a foreword by Stan Lee. A practical manual for beginners for fun and profit. Step-by-step instructions, drawing tips, trade secrets by Rich Buckler. And of course this cover page, because it's really basically a page, gives you a good idea of Rich Buckler's work. And of course I've talked about Rich Buckler before. When I did that Atlas comic on Man Monster. Yeah, because he used to work for Marvel and DC and other things. He was one of the artists who worked on Atlas Seaboard, for Atlas Seaboard, during the mid-70s when they had that year and a half stint there. They had a whole bunch of comics, very influential. That was basically a copy, intended to be direct competition with Marvel. The whole style, art style of storytelling and design of the books and the like, and was in direct competition with Marvel, and got a lot of talent from Marvel and DC, and it was very influential because it helped eventually helped raise the pay of the creators of the comics across the board. So that was a very big influence, and so they had just a very short run, limited run, and but had an outsized effect on the industry. And so Rich Buckler did that. He co-created Deathlock for Marvel. Did a lot of work for Marvel in the 70s and 80s, and worked for Archie in the mid-80s, when they, early to mid-80s, doing a lot of work on their Red Circle Adventure line of superheroes, the Mighty Crusaders and the like. So he has had a substantial career. And as you can see, he has, as you can see from this example right here, he did some really decent stuff. His style is kind of reminiscent to me of Neil Adams. So I think there's a lot of Neil Adams influence in here. We'll just take a brief look here in the book. In this book, it's not very thick. This, what year was this from? I've forgotten. And this book was from Solson Publications, 1986. So that's quite a while ago. Here's a little bit of text introduction here. He goes right through the whole thing. He starts off with storytelling. This doesn't cover the very basics of drawing like it did in some of the others, like drawing comics the Marvel way and the like. That more or less assumes you already know how to draw, because that's more basic, because you have to be able to draw before you start doing any of this stuff. And it goes basic storytelling, and that is what comics are about, is telling stories, and you have to do it in a visual way to be an artist. And the language of storytelling. And one neat thing here is you can see a lot of reproductions of his pencil work, drama, motion lines, It's just some very basic stuff, and emphasizes you are the camera. Oh, that's just some nice stuff right there. You have to choose. You're basically like a director and an actor in comics, because you have to know what the actor's doing. You have to be able to direct the story that someone else, or maybe you wrote yourself. It talks about all the different kinds of shots, angles, different ways to compose, camera angles, montage, story pacing, visual pacing, some basic page layout, and like composition and panel composition. You have panel composition and page composition, how to crop your drawings to, like, if you get in a little closer if necessary, pull out a little more. And here thumbnails, some basic page layouts on how to tell stories would be done beforehand and then transferred to the page that you're going to do the finished pencils on. And just how your pacing and storytelling is going to go before, right at the very beginning. And you get your script breakdown. To get a script of how it's written and how you want to tell, what's on that in that script. It's really nice. So, and shows kind of shows the composition on that. Here is like a basic page layout, and this one panel here has been rejected, and he reworks it, and here it's tightened up in loose pencils. So you can see the story, how it works, and then improvement on in this panel right here, and then working from a plot. Here you get the plot, and then how you want to tell it here, and then when it's completed with inks and lettering. How to tell this, or how to show the action, because comics are a lot about action in the storytelling. And there's props, using props in a scene, in a shot. How to make it look visually interesting. It keeps it to flop. Balloons and captions, and it's just all overall a quite interesting look. It does give some artistic tips on the figure, but it's not like starting with basic. It already assumes you know how to draw basically, but then it emphasizes things. Like different versions of this arm. In this case, it's running pencil and ink techniques, but here to define your people, your figures. But it's just real basic on that. But here, this is what I was looking for. How you get the differences. Like here, the one on the left, a very realistic, normal, fairly muscular chest. And then here, how you emphasize it for a super chest, a more heroic look. Same in this figure here. So just a very basic figure, and then you emphasize everything is just kind of pushed a little bit, just a little bit. And then you have a glossary of terms in the back here. And right on the very back cover, we have a picture of Rich Buckler. He's a full-time professional comics illustrator. Of course, he's gone now, doing Marvel, DC, Archie Comics, Superman, worked on Fantastic Four, Superman, Spider-Man, etc. And that is just a real brief overview of this book, How to Become a Comic Book Artist, by Rich Buckler. And it can be very helpful, very helpful. But as I said, it comes from the assumption that you already know basically how to draw. And this tells you how to take that that knowledge and apply it with these techniques to storytelling, comic book storytelling. And of course, it would, with some modifications, would work for comic strips storytelling as well. But this, the emphasis here, doesn't mention comic strips. It's just comic book, like it says. So thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you another time. Remember, as this will tell you, comics are art.